Hannah Smelser. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'm allergic to peanuts, walnuts, cashews, watermelon, cantaloupe, green pea, and sesame. And today I'm here with my boyfriend.
Hello everyone, my name is Tyler Catron. I am from Withville, Virginia, and I do not have any food allergies, but I'm excited to be on this podcast to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about dating with food allergies. I recently came across an Instagram post not too long ago where it was like, tell your date beforehand. It was kind of like talking about a first date. Like, tell your date beforehand, call the restaurant beforehand, and like this really long list of stuff that, in my personal experience and with some other people I've been talking to, it's just not really realistic. It's not what happens. So we just kind of want to talk about our experience with food allergies and learning together and educating each other. So last year at this time in October, we both go to the same college and we happened to meet each other. We had met multiple times on campus, but it just kind of like happenstance and became really good friends. So we started hanging out, and the first time that we hung out, we went to Cookout. And I, at the time, especially with my soy allergy, I cannot eat anything from Cookout. So I did not tell him about that.
She did not tell me about that.
No. It's kind of an experience. I was horribly sick after. And then we hung out again, and we both bonded over our favorite movie. And so we were going to watch the movie together, and I was really hungry, so I asked him.
Sure, you say the movie.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, it's Ratatouille, everybody. I think that's important to know. Ratatouille is a great movie. And it involves food, so it's very relevant.
So we went to watch Ratatouille together, and I was really hungry, and the only thing that he had was just like some leftover pizza from his soccer game the night before. And so I was like, sure, yeah, I'll eat it. I'm also severely lactose intolerant, so I was also really sick after that one too.
Yeah.
And it's time just went on. I don't really know when exactly I told you, but it had been a while.
It had been probably, I'd say like a month in after we started hanging out, she told me. And yeah, obviously started out with 2 very rough meals, which I was unaware of. I mean, honestly, they're not great to begin with, but especially when I didn't know she had food allergies.
Yeah, so as time went on, at this time I was also dealing with a lot, just trying to eat at my school and learn how to manage my food allergies on my own, because it was my first year in college. So it was very hard for me to just openly be like, hey, like, I'm allergic to everything, we can't go here, we can't do that, we can't do this, especially when it's stuff that I used to be able to do not even 2 years ago. So that was just like really hard to be able to just go and openly talk about with somebody that you're trying to get to know. So what did you know about food allergies before dating me?
So for food allergies, I knew the basic, I guess this is basic. I knew people with specifically peanut allergies, I feel like that's the common one everybody knows. I know, somebody gets near a peanut, their throat's going to close up, their eyes are going to get itchy, watery. I knew there could be very severe cases of it, but I was very unaware that somebody could have multiple food allergies, and I was unaware that some of the reactions could be, not all of them are, you swell up and you die, anaphylactic is what it's called. But, that there's a lot that just can be very bothersome throughout the day that you're just not, you can't function. I really had no knowledge of it.
It's really interesting to think about, because there's a lot of people that I run into, even just like some friends that I make on campus that, they don't know what food allergies are to the extent of what they are.
Yeah.
So when I finally got around to like talking about my allergies, it kind of just came up in a conversation, because where I was struggling with being able to eat on campus and like finding that support from my school, I just kind of neglected the importance of eating and eating regularly and good meals. So we just were talking about it, I think it's like over text, and I was just like, oh yeah, like I have, food allergies of this, and like the whole list. And yeah, I think that was.
Yeah, because I just remember specifically that the conversation came up, because it's one of those casual conversations where I'm texting her and she's like, yeah, I haven't eaten all day, and it's 7 o'clock in the evening, and I'm just like, well, that's concerning. That's not good, because I know that's not good. And so I asked her, and I was like, why are you not eating? And then she brings it up, and then I'm like, okay, like, what does that mean? And she's like, well, that time you gave me pizza, like, I went home and I was in horrific pain. And I was like, oh, well, that's bad.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think that's why whenever I saw that Instagram post originally of like how you should go about telling your date and stuff. I mean, it's very important to tell them beforehand, but I know that's not realistic. So all of you people out there, you are not alone. Like you're
Yeah.
not, the only person that, isn't that prepared to tell somebody or is, that ready to
Hmm.
just put it all out there.
And I think it's important to, because obviously everybody's going to react differently to that kind of news. And, if you're going on an initial date with this person, you want it to be someone that if you're going to be in a relationship with them, they're going to have to be able to adjust to your food allergies. They're going to have to be able to accommodate that. So if they can't deal with that up front, then and I feel like, there's no point of really wasting time to find that out later on.
Yeah.
You want to get to know that early on. So,
Mm-hmm.
is this somebody that's going to take this serious? Can I trust my life with them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because after I told him, it's like his whole mindset just completely shifted. It was honestly really great to see all the education that he was just doing himself, and like when he would go get me food, he'd be thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. It was definitely I was excited to learn because it's just one of those situations I know, you know, this may be something that she hasn't experienced in the past. Somebody being accommodating to that, so it's like this is a moment I can be special, to her. This is a moment I can do something special, and so I educated myself. And early on, I also know that it was hard for her to get food sometimes, and so I had a kitchen in the place I lived, and so I know one day I didn't cook much to begin with because I was able to eat in the cafeteria and stuff. But I made food one day and I was like, let's go ahead and make this allergy friendly. And so I made extra and I brought it over to her. And I could see right away that it meant a lot to her. And I was like, I want to keep doing that. I want to keep being able to first off help her be healthier, but do those little things that really show appreciation. That I want to be accommodating to what you've got going on. I want to be a good support for you.
And I think from the other side, like we don't expect you to get it right 100%. I've been dealing with this for 16 years now.
Mm-hmm.
You just got brought into this whole food allergy world where it's a whole different realm of things you have to be thinking about. It's like what food touches what. I can't really go to a lot of bakeries. When I do, I have to be really specific and really careful about where I go. So it's a whole big thing, and you can't expect the other person to get it right, and we don't expect you to, and we really appreciate the effort that's put in to make sure that we feel safe and comfortable in our relationship, and that we know that we're being looked out for.
Well, it definitely is a big adjustment, and obviously from the side of the person learning to accommodate to these things, especially if they have zero experience with it. I mean, it's like anything else in life. You're going to make mistakes and you're going to learn along the way. I remember specifically there was one event that I think this was about 2 or 3 months into us dating, and I went down to this area that had a nice bakery and they have donuts, and we'd gone a couple times and I'd gotten her, her favorite was a chocolate chip donut with sprinkles on it. So I was like, well, let's do something nice. Let's get her this again. So I get the donut and I'm looking around and I see okay, it's away from the nuts, and I think I even got it in a separate bag. I think that was the adjustment I made. I was like, yeah, can I get this in a separate bag from everything else? I bring it to her and she asked me and she said, oh, did you tell the lady to change her glove? And I was like, no, I didn't. And I'm a little bit of a dramatic person, so maybe I took that way much to heart than I should have. But I mean, it felt crappy because I don't want to make mistakes. But realistically, you're going to make mistakes. And from that point on, I learned, hey, I tell her up front she's got a peanut allergy, tree nut allergy. She needs to. Can you get a separate glove to handle this donut? So it's about thinking about the whole process of food, and I mean that's a whole nother topic to talk about. But it's just about being mindful about every little detail that goes into. If you're getting her food or if you're making food or, getting your significant other food in any way, there's a lot of thought process that takes about. You really have to break it down and make sure, is she safe? Or are they safe?
But even even if, there was that one, oopsie of, she didn't change the glove, from the person receiving it, it just meant so much that somebody had put so much thought into it, to get the separate bag, to tell the lady that I have a peanut tree nut allergy. And even just the thought of getting me a donut, like, it's just so sweet to even have that, even if I, couldn't have made the donut or whatever the situation may be for you guys, it's just the person on the receiving end really appreciates it, regardless of if there was a mistake or, something forgotten about. So now at my point in my college life, I cook all of my own meals because my cafeteria just can't support my needs, my dietary needs. So we share food, We both split groceries. We cook together.
Mm-hmm.
When one person's busy with a practice in the afternoon, the other person cooks. One person cooks, the other person does dishes. It's really great. It's nice to have that balance and to have those extra hands to help. Because I know if I had to cook all my meals by myself, I would be just absolutely spread thin because it's a lot. It's a lot to cook. It's a lot to cook in a college dorm. And obviously that can be a whole other topic of conversation because it has definitely been a learning curve. But it's been a lot easier with your help. So we really enjoyed finding like alternatives for things. I really just got to the point last year where I didn't try to find different substitutes for the things that I enjoyed that like I used to be able to eat, but then I couldn't. So you were really helpful with that, and you did a lot of research on your own, finding different alternatives, which was really nice. So one of the alternatives actually that he tried for me once. I guess you want to explain it?
Yeah, so it was over the summer. She talked to me about pizza, and pizza obviously has a lot of dairy, and there's dairy-free options, dairy-free cheese and stuff, and I was like, let's think out of the box here. So I get on YouTube, and I'm scrolling through, researching, and there's this video from like probably 11 years ago, 12 years ago. It's pretty old, and it's like an alternative, dairy-free alternative for pizza. So I was like, okay, this looks pretty cool. And so I get in the video, and the guy was telling me all the ingredients, and then he's like, okay, so for the alternative for cheese, we're going to do a very thin slice of a potato skin and caramelized onions. And I was like, I'll try this. And well, actually, you would work this day too, so I was making you food for work. That might have been a little risky, but yeah, so I made this pizza, and of course, me also was running really late, and so I'm in the kitchen and I'm running through everything. I'm trying to cut these potato slices, but I just can't cut them very thin, and put it in the oven, and it was okay. It wasn't great. Just so you know, you have to cut a really thin potato skin in order to simulate cheese. But we tried it, and it was okay. Obviously, I could have used some more maybe pizza sauce, or it was very dry.
I don't know. I personally liked it. I mean, it didn't taste like pizza. No.
No.
But was it still good? Yeah.
It was different, but
I was also halfway through a 12-hour shift, and I was really hungry.
She was very desperate for food, so
I think at that point anything would have been
out.
good.
I mean, I even ate it, and it was okay, which was also on cauliflower crust, so there was a lot of things that were happening on it.
I personally really like cauliflower crust.
It is good crust.
Yeah.
I can eat that on pizza, and I don't really mind it.
Yeah.
So let's just say it didn't go well the first time, but we mark it up in a book, and I'll probably revisit it again. I'll try to add some more sauce to it, and there's little things you can do. And it's just about trying to think outside of the box. There's a lot of ideas already out there that you can find, and I mean, you can get creative with them too. And I tried an idea that some guy got creative with 12 years ago. He probably did a lot better than me. I can't really make pizza that well, but you live and you learn, and I think that's what's important. Is you constantly are just trying to be creative, find new solutions. The food allergy world seems like one that it's been around for a long time, but it's just now really starting to get more spotlight, and I think there's just a lot of room for creativity when it comes to food.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, there's some Facebook groups that I joined just for fun, and there's a lot of moms. It's always a lot of moms. And they make so many recipes of all allergen free.
Yeah.
And it just baffles me that somebody is so creative in the kitchen that they can make something so good and it's totally like top 9 free.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool. So there's lots of, space in there. And if that's not your thing, that's okay. There's other ways that you can be creative and kind of go about, finding different things that you enjoy. But definitely, at least give it a try. You might surprise yourself. You might be pretty good at it. So. And
if not, it's a funny story you can tell on a podcast someday.
There you go. Yep.
It's definitely an adjustment. But I think it's one that can really help your relationship grow a lot, because throughout that process of finding alternatives and for me, I never want to put her in danger, so I've started making it, a priority of mine to not eat her allergens. And, some of them are easier said than done. I don't think I've stepped foot near a peanut since we started dating, which, that's obviously the one that really scares me. So I just don't even bother, which it's funny because, I used to go on soccer trips and they provide us peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and that was used to be, I used to eat those 2 or 3 times a day, and I haven't eaten one since. And even when they offer to it, I'm like, no, I'm good, because I just don't want to put her in danger. And so it's about finding ways to find alternatives and always creating an environment that they can be safe in. So, I did, now personally, on a personal level, I want to be a dietitian one day. So this is already kind of fun for me, but I wanted to find alternatives, and we've had some crazy ones, but it's been nice to kind of just share that experience with her, and also show that you're not in this alone. Like, obviously it's different because there's a lot more risk for her, but if I'm able to show like, we can eat these meals a day without these allergens, then I think that goes a long way with just showing that you have somebody else that can do it too, like you're not alone in this.
Yeah, it definitely raises the spirits on this end of it. Just having the extra support and somebody that's there to, you know, to to be there and experience it with you, even when they don't have to. Like it's a choice that you made, and it's not, you're not required to do any of these things. But it really does help a lot. You also build a lot of bonding time, getting just to cook together.
Mm-hmm.
3 times a day, spending time in the kitchen, making new things.
I mean, it's just, we get to take on responsibilities together that, I've already grown our relationship so much more than, if she was on her own and cooking and I was just going to the cafeteria, like, hey, I'll see you after dinner. I'm going to go down here. Instead, let's do it together. Let's wash dishes. Let's, organize time together. I think it's just been a great thing for our relationship overall and for her environment in general.
Well, also, I know that, not everybody listening to this is in college,
Yeah.
but I can't go into the cafeteria
Mm-hmm.
without, like, a meal plan with my card being swiped. So, we wouldn't even be able to eat together unless you always got it to go.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to be able to have that time that we dedicate to spending together.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever that may be for you guys, it doesn't have to be, cooking together, whether it's going to, your favorite gluten-free or allergen-free, restaurant or bakery, or just wherever, you guys both enjoy going or enjoy doing. Cooking just happens to be one of the things that we really enjoy doing together. So it's whatever works for you guys that can help build that relationship while also making sure that, everybody in the relationship feels safe and, like they're supported.
Yeah. I think it's just important that you don't want food to feel like a divide in your relationship. And, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to, one significant other has to go all out with, their food choices, or, that's up to the couple. I mean, that's up to your relationship. But, I think it's important to try to always keep that as, you don't want it to be different. You don't want it, I mean, it's always going to be a little different, but you don't want it to be detrimental to the relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't want it to be something that hinders you being able to spend time with your significant other.
Mm-hmm. So I think just going back and talking about, where we started at the beginning of this episode, that whole first date, getting to know somebody, it's just not realistic to always expect things to go, like the Instagram post said.
Yeah.
In my personal experience, and, with a few other people that I've kind of talked about this with, it's just not really the reality, of having food allergies and having to share that, with other people. There are some people who are super, super vocal about it. And there's some people who are not, and that's okay. Like both are, totally fine. Just know that at some point it's, important to share it with your partner, your significant other, or even just like your friends and your friendships around you, the people you hang out with the most. I feel like this can really relate to a lot of different things, a lot of different relationships in your life, because I know it's hard to spend time with people and not have them understand, or honestly just not even have them know, because I am definitely that person who held it, a secret. It was like my big secret for a long time. And so I know how hard it is to have to navigate that, or, navigate things in class where, I'm in college and we're still having food days in class. Dreaded food days. I hated those, growing up because I could never participate. And, that's still happening. So just having that open communication to be able to, at some point, when you're comfortable and when you think is the right time to talk about it, I think that there's a lot of positive that can come from it.
Yeah, and I think from the perspective of the significant other that doesn't have food allergies, it's important to just try to be as understanding you can of the person with food allergies, and they may not tell you right away, and it may take a long time, or they might tell you right away. And I think it's important just to do your best, because at the end of the day, outside of food allergies, being in a relationship's about having safety with the other person, feeling comfort, and in order to build that, you have to take on different challenges with somebody with food allergies. So it's important, you're not going to be perfect right away. I mean, I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. We still make mistakes daily. We learn every day on foods that we can have, and, places we can be, and handling issues and so many other things. And I think it's just important that you try to learn and you try to show that effort. Show the person that you're dating, I'm committed to making an environment that you can feel safe in. And that is different for everybody. Maybe they already have a lot of things figured out. Maybe they just got their food allergies and they're still learning themselves. And every situation is different, but at the end of the day, you just have to try to give your best and educate yourself. If you care about the person, I mean, give them your best always. I think that's just what's important.
there are a lot of really great education sites, Instagrams, all the different medias out there that you can, even us right here at Just Allergy Things.
Mm-hmm.
We have lots of great different articles, podcasts, things like that you can listen to. I think it's really important for both people too. I think everybody can learn something. I've learned a lot just from being involved in this and from the different, groups that I've been able to work with and the people I've, been able to meet. It's been really fun to get to learn all these new things and then to come back and get to share it with Ty.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, oh my gosh, guess what I learned today? You're gonna love this.
Yeah.
It's really great. So the education is super super important. I think for both people.
It is.
You can never not learn enough.
Yeah, I mean you're going to the food allergy convention in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and I told her I was like, you better take good notes. Like I want to hear what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean I want to learn too, because at the end of the day, it really is an issue that goes overlooked a lot, and it's not just my girlfriend, but there'll be other people throughout my life that I'll find that have food allergies, and I think it'd be a breath of fresh air for them that if I have a little, some education, and they don't have to completely educate everybody constantly that, are negligent.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening to our story. We hope that it was able to give some insight on just dating with food allergies or, building a relationship with them, and that you guys can hopefully apply some of our different, things that we've been able to learn to your lives.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me, and we both wish you the best in your own food allergy journeys.